Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to blogging on the LinkedIn publishing platform and a roundup of all the latest tech stories in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Massive welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. It recently occurred to me that we're living in an incredibly visual world now. I mean, every website we visit must use imagery that jumps out and captures our imagination. But when you arrive on a website such as Amazon, eBay or any big publication, do you ever stop to think about how the images are managed? Probably not, I expect you to say, but this kind of stuff keeps me awake at night, and that is just sad but true, I'm afraid. Maybe it's because my IT days were filled with nightmare stories of managing images stored both internally and externally. But then I do have a certain affinity to those poor developers out there who painfully have to ensure that every image holds the exact dimensions to make that site look as aesthetically pleasing as possible. Surely things must be easier now, I thought. And guess what? They are, thanks to a new startup I've come across called Cloudinary. Essentially, this platform enables developers and companies to take control over their images and videos to create a more meaningful and impactful experience for end users, which ultimately drives business value, so everyone's a winner. But as always, it's not just the solution that interests me, but the story behind it. So buckle up, hold on tight, because I'm going to beam your ears back to the west coast of USA so we can speak with Itai. He's the co-founder and CEO of Cloudinary. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me. And my name is Itai. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Cloudinary. What I do, I was a software developer. Actually, when people ask me what I do, I still say I'm a software developer, even though I haven't developed software professionally for years now, but I guess this is something that goes with you.
Yeah.
And I'd love to tell you a little bit about Cloudinary.
Excellent. It's funny you should say that, because I'm very much the same with my IT past as well. It just never leaves you, you know. From social, Snapchat to Instagram, to shopping, Amazon and Walmart, we now live in a very visual world, and imagery is helping to drive that visual economy, where people see, click and buy. But many businesses still manage their images in-house, and Cloudinary is hoping to make that transition to the cloud as easy as possible. At least that's my understanding of what you guys do over there. But to help people listening that are hearing about Cloudinary for the very first time visualise what you offer, can you advise exactly what Cloudinary is and what makes it unique from everything else out there?
Yes, definitely. So yes, as you said, every website out there has images, right? You go to your favorite news website, it's all wall-to-wall images. You can even see the titles, right? Your eyes gravitate first and foremost to the images. And same goes with e-commerce websites, right? You come, you buy, you shop with your eyes. And as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Now, the thing is, behind the scenes, photos, they seem really simple, but behind the scenes, they require a lot of work. An e-commerce website can have millions of images. That's original images, and then a few variations for each product, and then different variation of the images to support the different devices that the website is actually displayed on. And there is a poor developer behind the scenes that need to invest a considerable time making sure that everything works. Yeah. Now, so we said it's very, very important, right? It's a major part of your user experience. It's really important you get it right. There is a lot of know-how involved in getting images done right, and there is a lot of infrastructure that you need to build in-house to get the images from the moment that they're uploaded to your service and all the way to when they're actually viewed. And since it's something really common and really valuable, requires a lot of know-how, and it's complex, and it's time, right? It's time that your developers could have been doing focus, could have been working on the core of their product. We built Cloudinary to support all that, to take the hassle out of images, making the whole experience streamlined, and helping your developers reclaim a few of their important hours in the day, and helping them focus on the core of the business rather than on images and media in general.
You're right in what you say, though, as in most people don't realise when they hit a website all that hard work that goes behind that image that they see. Going back to my IT days again, I did used to support a ticket selling platform, and Just something like that, where you go on to buy a concert ticket or an event ticket, it all seems fairly easy to set up and do. But of course, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of images that are constantly added over time, and they all need special attention. They've got to be the right size dimensions. They've got to fit the website. And there's just so many different areas, isn't there, that need to be considered before it reaches that web page.
Exactly, and it only gets more and more complex, right? Your first of all, you have more visitors, you have more things to sell, but then again, you have more devices, right? Yeah. And then you have Retina display, and you need to crop the images correctly, and manual work that may have worked for just a few images now need to scale. Now you need to go to automation, and then there is all sorts of algorithmic smartness that needs to come into the images, right? How do I crop the image correctly to different dimensions? Where I want to focus on the area of importance in the image, but how do I find it? And then you have different browsers, and you have different image formats, and things evolve, which is great, right? You have new image formats that are being invented, and how do I leverage that? And what image format to use to what image at what time? What browser supports what? How do I encode them correctly, and so forth? And that's just a tiny part of the problem, right? As you grow as an organization, the flows for your images evolve and change. Suddenly, images that in the past you just would have put on your website, now you need to go through a moderation phase. Let's check that the images fit what we expect them to be. Let's add a watermark on top of the image. So the product evolves, and additional capabilities are made apparent, right? With the new machine learning capabilities now in the world, you can do things like automatically tag the images and then search for your growing database of existing images to find the images that best tell the tale in a way. So there are a lot of opportunities, and there are a lot of complexities, and it's only growing complexity and growing the amount of opportunities you can have to build an amazing user experience on your website. So yeah, definitely worth the effort to look into your media, how you manage it, and use all the best tool that you currently have.
Now, I've got to ask though, what's the story behind Cloudinary? I mean, what was the inspiration behind it? Were you a frustrated developer that had experienced so many friction points that you wanted to just do something about it? I mean, what is the story behind it, though?
Yeah. So, yes, exactly that, by the way, personal pain point. So, an interesting story by itself, but myself and my two amazing co-founders, Tal and Adav, we actually worked together for over 20 years now. And 10 years back, we had a consultancy shop in Israel, and we were working with primarily with early stage startups, with entrepreneurs, and helping them build their products from scratch, technically. Right, we're working on everything development related, just getting the product up to market from the napkin stage and all the way to initial launch. And you learn a lot working with dozens new startup companies, and every company is different, every solution is different. But behind the scenes, the DNA of every web solution out there is 99% the same. And the goal for us as developers, trying to build better and better product for our own customers and getting them faster to market, was to figure out how not to reinvent the wheel, how to figure out the 99%, build our existing stack, use off-the-shelf solution for these parts, and then allow us to focus on the core functionality that is unique to each and every new startup that we help build. And you learn a lot in this process. One of the things you learn is the missing links, the areas that are missing, the things that we keep on needing to do, but we don't have a good off-the-shelf solution for. And one of these areas was images. And we were surprised, right, by how much work and effort we need to put into images in each and every additional product that we're building. And we wanted the best solution that we can have for our own customers around images, around videos, file management in general. And this is where it all started. It all started with us thinking back on all the work that we needed to do, all the requirements that we needed to push back on because they were too complex. Things that we told our customer, hey, this is amazing what we can do with images, what you want to do with your images here, but it's really time consuming. So instead of doing that, let's simplify it. Let's do something else. But we actually wanted our customers to be able to enjoy these features that they wanted. So we ended up working on the solution that we would have loved to use, and that was Cloudinary.
So we've spoken about the headaches of building those complicated, expensive and time-consuming in-house image management solutions. But you've gone out to fix that problem. So I've got to ask, what are the main features of Cloudinary that will remove all those pain points that you had originally encountered way back in 2011?
The thing is this. First of all, if the first thing you need to do as a developer when you start managing images is install some non-trivial software, right? So everybody uses ImageMagick, and it's an amazing software package, including everything you need so you can create images, manage the image, change formats, and so forth. You need to install that. You need, some cloud environment, and you need to think about scale, so multiple environments, and then the hassle begins, right? What we wanted to do with Cloudinary, two things basically. It's so simple from, if we look at that from 30,000 feet perspective, it's basically one line of code to get all of your images, videos in to the service. Doesn't matter the source of the image, the format of the image, where do they come from. It can be user-generated content that you just, get from third parties, content that your content editors are creating. Just a single line of code. Doesn't matter, the scale. It can be a few images, millions of images, formats. It's all the same. One line of code, and that's it. And then when you want to view that, right, there is no, the hassle of figuring out the right dimension, and think about responsive design and retina displays and the right format to do that and the cropping dimensions. And you just tell us single line of code, generate this image, and we'll do that on the fly according to your exact needs and with a lot of smarts going in. So it's one line of code, get stuff out. You don't need any complex backend development around that. It just works. No need to install any complex software. No need to think about the scale and where we will be a year from now from a scaling perspective. Just one line of code, and that's about it. Now, when you, having said that, as an API-first solution, a solution for developers, it's extremely flexible. And when you drill down, one of the amazing things that we had with Cloudinary, so far, we have over 200,000 developers using the service, about 5,000 paying customers all around the world, right? From amazing startup companies like BuzzFeed, for example, and all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. It gave us a very nice perspective of what customers need. And while there are a lot of similarities, there's also very different use cases and workflows for each and every organization. So you start with just two lines of code, but then you can expand, and it can grow to from the basic best practices of just how do you manage a flow of media in your organization to cover very complex use cases. So it's all there. And one of the main strengths of Cloudinary is very flexible and can adapt to your existing needs and your existing solution and so forth.
I'm interested in the technology behind it and how you make it, because obviously as from a user's point of view, you're solving all their problems, you're removing the friction points, and it's easy to use. That's fantastic. But I'm interested in the technology as well behind it, which people probably don't always appreciate.
First of all, so this is a cloud-based solution, right? We're using cloud-based infrastructure to scale and to grow. Yeah. Cloudinary, by the way, just to give you some clue as to, we manage over 15 billion media assets for our customers. And if you look at some of the largest companies in the world today that manage images, probably social solutions. So, for example, Facebook and WhatsApp and Snapchat. About 100 million images are uploaded to each of these services a day, which is a huge amount, right? About 30 million to Instagram, a few millions to Flickr and others. Cloudinary handles tens of millions and hundreds of millions of images daily, regularly, right? So it's a scale. You can scale to a Facebook level scale with Cloudinary currently, and yes, it requires a substantial infrastructure behind the scenes. As I was saying, everything is cloud-based. Everything is auto-scalable, and this is 6 years in the making, right? One of the amazing things is that around such a technology, we can focus on solving this specific need and doing that right. So it's years in best practices putting into global cloud-based infrastructure.
It's a fantastic story. You did mention some big clients there, such as BuzzFeed. So do you have any use cases or feedback stories from clients of how Cloudinary is actually helping them? Because I would imagine that must make you guys feel great as well, to sit back and see that it is actually fixing that problem and all those pain points.
Definitely. It's first of all, it's as a startup entrepreneur, that's an insane journey, and with some really cool things in general about Cloudinary, about the concept behind Cloudinary. One of the things is Cloudinary is actually, it follows a freemium model. For developers, it's basically free. It's based on the amount of usage that you use for your development needs. It's free. Just use the service, and it's a real free in that respect. We're extremely proud of every developer that uses the service. There are many images today, by the way, you browse the web that probably has been touched by Cloudinary in some way. Quite a few major newspapers and e-commerce websites and things that are happening behind the scenes. And it's amazing. It's amazing to see that. It's amazing. It makes us extremely proud. One of the things is, I can tell one story, for example. So if you go to any newspaper today, you will probably see at the bottom of a specific article, you see here are some additional articles that you may want to read as well, right? And it's powered by a third party. There are two amazing companies, Israeli companies. By the way, Cloudinary originally an Israeli company. We started back in Israel. Two amazing Israeli unicorns, Taboola and Outbrain. Both Taboola and Outbrain use Cloudinary to manage their images. And one of the stories we had when we talked to the guys from Outbrain, one of the developers, told us that before Cloudinary, he was every few days, because they're growing so fast, every few days there was a small outage around their internal infrastructure to create all the massive amount of images, ads that they had. Not ads, but article recommendations. And that was something that caused him tremendous headache. Every few days, middle of the night, waking up, trying to babysit the system back to health. And then once they started using Cloudinary, it's done. They don't even remember that it's there. It just works. And they can focus on other things, and he can breathe again. And that's just an amazing thing to hear.
So how has the massive shift towards video affected digital asset management platforms?
So if image can tell 1,000 words, video can do much more than that. So what we see, first of all, we see a shift towards video, a bigger and bigger shift. And where in areas of your website that the image in the past were king, now you see more and more videos. So you can go to a news website and now you'll see a video article instead of just an image thumbnail. You can go to an e-commerce website, and instead of seeing a model wearing a dress, now you can see the model actually moving around and how the dress flows while she moves, for example. And if you go to social websites, where in the past users were uploading images, now they're uploading more and more video snippets. It's an amazing journey, right? And one of the things that Cloudinary does is the same exact things that we're doing for images, we're doing for videos as well. We make it easy for developers to manage videos. We make it as easy as it is to manage images. So one line of code, you get your videos in, one line of code, you get them out, and it opens a lot of opportunities for our customers to enhance their product with something that maybe was on the roadmap, but was complex to implement, right? Something that was on their, on hold list for the time being. And now we open all these amazing opportunities. So you can upload videos, you can manage the videos online, you can crop them, and you can make different variation out of them. And it's all as simple as just asking Cloudinary to do that for you.
Now, 2017 is going to be remembered for the year that artificial intelligence and machine learning finally woke up businesses about the possibilities around it. But, I mean, what challenges and opportunities do you think the impending AI-centric world will bring?
More smart stream images and videos, definitely. Yeah. And we see that happening all the time. One of the main things that you see around AI is around vision, right? How do computers can help you better visualize the world in front of you. So on our own end, it started from things like, and I mentioned a few of those, right? how do I figure out where are the areas of importance in an image? It starts from face detection. Where are the interesting faces? But then where are the other areas that an eye will gravitate towards? Areas that we want to make sure are retained in the photo, even if we need to crop it. How can we maximize this area of importance? It continues with some behind the things stuff. So, for example, what is the right format and encoding settings for an image? For example, if an image is more an illustration, you'll use a different file format than a photographic image. We can identify that and pick the correct theme according to that. And then it advances to some really cool areas. So, for example, what is in an image? Right? Categorize this image, categorize the scene, identify specific people in this scene. Tell me what other objects are in this photo. What does this photo represent? Then I can search better for my photos. I can filter my photos. I can automatically tag them and then decide what to do with them feature-wise as part of my application. So it's all already there. It's even growing. And one of the nice things about Cloudinary, we in addition to adding a lot of smarts to the solution itself, we also partner. We have what we call our add-on marketplace. So we partner with third-party solutions around images and videos to offer the best of what the AI world currently offers to our customers. So if you go to Cloudinary's add-on page, you'll see solutions from Amazon and Google and Microsoft around vision, around how to add additional smarts to your images and videos. And it's amazing. I'm looking forward to see all the latest and greatest with AI and vision.
It really is an incredibly exciting space to be in at the moment, and especially I think because everything is constantly changing and evolving. So how do you see Cloudinary evolving with these changes over the next 18 months, 2 years, 3 years? I mean, is there anything else on the horizon that you can share with us today?
So a lot of things. First of all, a lot of things. So I mentioned, for example, the things that we're doing around videos, and we're actually going to have a launch of some additional features that we're currently missing in our video space. Or not missing, but additional features that can bring additional value to our customers. So we'll see that a little later this year, and it will be so. For example, currently Cloudinary is much about the managing the bits and bytes, the behind the scenes of videos, and now it will be something that is more customer facing, what we call the presentation layer on the front end, allowing you to better interact with your own customers around video. One area, video, growing very strong. Another area is machine learning, and you'll see more and more solutions around AI, around bringing additional smarts to images, and some really from really cool stuff to really cutting edge stuff. If you'll go to the Cloudinary website, you'll see some really cool work around style transfer, taking one photograph, taking another one, maybe a painting, and then I want to see this photograph, but with the style of this painting, and make that happen. So it looks like magic, which is just a joy to see at work. Another area is around digital asset management. One of the things that our customers really want us to do is to help them not only automatically manage images, right? The more developer focused solution for Cloudinary, but is also to help them around interactively manage digital asset their digital assets. So we already do that, but we have a lot of different things planned, and we have some really cool announcements around that earlier next year.
Oh, earlier next year. You've left me with a teaser, so we're going to have to get you on in another 4 to 5 months then, certainly.
Sounds fantastic.
A big thank you for coming on today. But before I let you go, can you remind the listeners of where they can find out more information about Cloudinary, or even contact yourself or a member of your team if they have any questions about what we've talked about today?
Cloudinary.com. Obviously, try it out. It's free to try, and waiting for you guys to try the service. Always.
Fantastic. Well, a huge thanks for coming on today, especially because having supported a ticket selling website with tens of thousands of images, and I know the heartache and pain and hours that go into looking after that is so time consuming. So actually experiencing that for yourself and actually creating a solution to it, you have to be commended, believe me. So a big thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Once again, I think it's an excellent story behind this startup. And I genuinely love how people who encounter that frustrating pain point decide to do something about it and create a solution to a problem that they've experienced firsthand. A few years ago, all too often that we heard that there were startups and tech solutions to problems that didn't even exist. But when somebody goes out to fix a problem that does exist, then it gets my attention. And anyone that has worked in an environment where you have to manage a website or mobile application's entire image management needs, whether that be uploads, storage, manipulations, optimizations and delivery, I think Cloudinary is going to strike a chord with you. But if you do use Cloudinary, or even if you have experience using other products, please let me know.
Do you want to appear on the show, or do you have any questions for Neil? Remember, you can reach him at techblogwriter@outlook.com or visit his website at www.techblogwriter.co.uk.
It occurred to me the other day that summer is disappearing quickly, and I've not even asked you guys where you've been or what you've been up to. So as we're talking about images today, I challenge everyone listening to send me their fave pick of the summer, or even just their best memory of the summer. And you can do all that by tweeting me at Neil C. Hughes or emailing me techblogwriter@outlook.com. You know the drill, but I'll promise to reply to every message, so keep them coming in. We're out of time, I'm afraid, but have no fear, I'm going to be back tomorrow with another great guest. But before I go, a big thank you for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.